Welcome, everyone. I'm Sean O'Loughlin, Principal Conductor of Symphoria, and today we're here with Nick Ziobro and Julia Goodwin, two of our favorite singers, and who just happen to be from Central New York. And we're so excited to have this De-Lovely Valentine's Day program featuring both of you and featuring the great music of the Great American Songbook. And as both of you guys are alumni or award winners of the Great American Songbook, it seemed like a no-brainer to put a complete program together with you two. And I know we've both welcomed you both individually and together for our holiday pops, but this seemed to be that next outgrowth. And we had talked about it for a few years now, kind of making it happen. And just for the audience at home to know, Symphoria wasn't the only one interested in this program. We've had some national interest in it as well. And we're scheduled to sing this with the Sarasota Orchestra down in Florida, but of course got postponed. And we're hoping to, just like with this, reschedule and make those concerts happen. So first of all, it's great to see you guys. I hope you're doing well and all that. And talking about the Great American Songbook, which is really the catalog that we use to create this show. You know, Julia, we'll start with you. The songs, I mean, there's just an endless laundry list of songs that we could have sang. You know, tell us a little bit about a couple of the songs we're going to hear or heard, and go from there. Like your take on what made those songs special for you.
Yeah, so I have a bunch of, special songs that I'm singing. One of them being At Last, a song that I've been singing since I was 12 years old. I think I have like an old talent show video of me singing that like a long time ago. A song that's a soundtrack to so many people's lives as well. So that song in particular, a lot of, Ella Fitzgerald arrangements, one of my favorite singers of all time, singing a few of her versions of incredible songs like Someone to Watch Over Me, Fascinating Rhythm, and Day In and Day Out. Singing They Can't Take That Away From Me, which I think Nick and I sang for the first time at Birdland when we were pretty young too. So it's kind of cool to reunite now when we're older and sing it together again. And then Unforgettable, which is a really cool, touching song. I was actually able to meet Natalie Cole a long time ago, and we're doing her version that she did with her dad. So yeah, I'm really excited to be singing these songs.
Well, speaking of Natalie, I was fortunate to guest conduct the Oregon Symphony a few years ago on a Valentine's Day program, and she was the guest artist on the second half. I conducted the orchestra only part on the first half. But I got to meet her, just like you, meet her and talk to her a little bit. And she was so gracious, so beautiful, like in person. And, she had quite a life journey, both, on and off the stage. But what always remains was that sweetness that I really, we went to breakfast the next morning after it. And she was like, oh, come sit with us if you want. I mean, just so delightful in her way. And to sing these songs like that. And Julia, you had mentioned the arrangements, right? We were able to find all the original arrangements of this. And Nick, what is it like to kind of step in the shoes of Dean Martin or step in the shoes of Frank Sinatra? I mean, these are the giants, right? You're putting your stamp on this as well.
It's pretty exciting. In a modern twist of our own different music, it's awesome to get our own spin on some songs that have been around for 50, 60, 70 years. And, like Julia was saying, these songs are so iconic, and to get to put our own stamp on all of these is something that we both just really enjoy doing and that we've been able to do for a couple of years. Julia and I started doing stuff together when we were 16, 17 years old together, and got to go all over the world and make the Great American Songbook work for everybody. So I feel like these performers like Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin, Ella Fitzgerald are impossible to ever replicate or replace, and that's not ever like a goal for anyone who wants to sing this music. It's to take what they've done and celebrate it as much as we possibly can, while continuing to make sure that the artistry and the music is to live on for future generations, because we really do believe that this is some of the greatest music ever written.
Well, and these songs kind of function like rings on a tree, right? They're like these through things that go on and on and on. And like you said, Nick, we have the unique opportunity tonight and for this concert to really put our stamp, we're here to hear you. Well, I'm not. I'm still in California, unfortunately. But we're going to enjoy the artistry that you guys both bring to this to these great iconic songs. And, and speaking about the arrangements too, it's really interesting because Nelson Riddle was one of the greats, right? And he kind of is the benchmark for all the arrangers to match. But one of the things that was really, really cool about him is his dialogue with Frank and Dean and Sammy and Ella and all that was just as important as his dialogue in his arrangements. Because if you listen to these songs, the orchestra or the big band or wherever will swell when the vocal is kind of resting or holding a note, and vice versa. The orchestra will kind of, quell down and be more supportive and all that. So Julia, how does that like dialogue for you, approach your singing? Because yes, it's written down, but when you're singing, right? You're not so worried about what the notes are on the page. So, I mean, do you listen over and over to kind of get the sense of where you want to take the arrangement and where you want to take the song?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just like in his arrangements, Nelson Riddle's arrangements, it's all about a storytelling quality. All of these songs are stories for people, and that translate over into the soundtrack of people's lives. So that's how people can so easily connect with this music. So when I sing it, I just try and tell my story through the music, the best of my ability. So.
Well, and you had mentioned At Last being a song that you grew up with, and one of the most public displays and performances was Beyonce's cover at the presidential inaugural ball with the Obamas, and At Last just seemed like the perfect tenor and the perfect tone to sing with that as well. And Nick, for you, I mean, obviously you're approaching these arrangements in a very similar way, where kind of finding almost your groove, right? And for one that we're going to do, Nature Boy, which was a big Nat King Cole feature, and he made it famous along those lines. Yours has got a little bit of a different take, right? We move into a bossa feel with it. Explain to me a little bit, that approach to it and what you were looking for.
Right. So when we did our arrangement for Nature Boy, I wanted to make sure that the message of the song is right there, loud and clear at the front. So it starts, it's a cappella, and it's not a long song at all. It's just kind of a very simple verse and one time through. And the way that I wanted to start it was just to start a cappella and make sure that the message is shining right through. Like, that's the whole meaning of the song. The greatest thing is to love and be loved in return. And then I thought it would be cool to go into more of a romantic, dream-like kind of bossa nova feel that I hadn't really heard done on the song before. So a lot of that is just, coming up with arrangements, is, trying to spin things in a different way that are just as fun or exciting without losing the message of the song.
Well, and we'll also get a chance to feature our kind of third member of the featured soloist, Joe Corello, who's of course a legend in Central New York. And both of you have performed with Joe before, right? Along the lines. And I mean, he adds so much to this, and he's always my first choice if we have a chance to bring in someone like that. And he actually told me a story the other day about, and maybe Kelly Covert, our wonderful Symphoria ambassador, will talk to Joe about this as well. But he shared a story with me where he actually played with Natalie when she came through Central New York. He was the sax player that came through, and he said that solo that's an integral part of the song of Unforgettable, and so much so that Natalie had it written out so that she would know what she was singing along those lines. So, and speaking of that song, it's going to be just a fantastic way to wrap up our evening of songs from the Great American Songbook and the song Unforgettable. And you guys will have to wear your Nat King Cole and your Natalie Cole hats on that one. And I know you're just going to, and like all the songs that we're hearing in this program, it's going to be, pure Nick and Julia, which, we love you guys. We love sharing the stage with you. And thanks again for joining us in this kind of informal chat. I like to tell people we get to show them how the sausage is made with some of these conversations. So it's fun catching up with you guys. And of course, we're looking forward to the big things ahead as everything starts opening up and we get to enjoy music live again. And this is a little bit, virtual, but it's still live music, and we're excited to share it with everyone. And so thank you, Julia. Thank you, Nick, for joining us this evening, and we're looking forward to a great show. So take care, everyone, and we'll see you at the Inspiration Hall.
All right.